All right, now to disturbing news tonight about ISIS. There is new evidence that the terror group is acting like a state. ISIS announcing that it has established an official budget of $2 billion for 2015, and just last week, ISIS announcing it has set up its own bank in Mosul. Former UN Ambassador John Bolton joins us. Nice to see you. And how weird. They're going to have a budget and we are not.
Well, I think it shows ISIS is serious about consolidating its control over the physical territory it holds. It's also created a currency. Now, all of this can be swept away by military force, but I don't see the military force coming anytime soon. It's been 7 months since they swept out of Syria and captured huge parts of Iraq's territory, including Mosul, and the response has been ineffective, to say the least. So while setting up a currency and having a budget and a bank doesn't mean you're really a state, it's a step that shows how serious they are.
I'll tell you what I think is alarming well, everything about it is alarming, but even more so, it looks like they're taking a page out of the Hamas playbook, because what they're doing is they're also planning to pay monthly wages to poor, disabled, orphans, widows, families of poor killed in coalition strikes, and $250 million surplus is set aside for war against American coalition, which means that they're going to look like the good guys who are hungry and starving, and all of a sudden it's going to be ISIS that's providing them food, clothing, and shelter.
It is only a matter of weeks before the Western media, as with Hamas, as you say, and Hezbollah, will say, well, you know, the ISIS people, there's a humanitarian side to them. They're providing assistance to the needy and education. And so that they're not all bad. They're not a typical terrorist organization like Al-Qaeda.
See, I think that's serious, because the media, the media will take that bait. They won't remember. And ISIS is now going to buy the love of people, or they're going to use the oil revenues, and that to me shows these people are a lot more serious than, say, the warlords in what used to be Libya, who are simply controlling territory. The longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be to displace them. And while it may look like blue smoke and mirrors, the Palestinian Authority is doing blue smoke and mirrors now. They narrowly lost in the Security Council a resolution that, in effect, would have recognized them as a state beyond a certain time limit, and it's coming back as they try and join the International Criminal Court. So while we may say this is sort of pathetic that they've got a $2 billion budget for their state, they're on the way. See, I don't use the word pathetic. I think it's dangerous, because think about it, is that 6 months from now, when we do a coalition strike that goes awry and we get some civilians and they rush out with their ambulances and their food and their doctors and they're pouring the water and giving them blood and everything else, who's going to look like the bad guy?
No, and I'm sure that's part of it. Look, the fact is that the states of Iraq and Syria have disappeared. ISIS is creating a new state in the Middle East, and we are not responding effectively. I think we've missed a huge opportunity, and while it's not gone entirely, we have not followed Winston Churchill's advice of dealing with the Russian Revolution when he said we should have strangled Bolshevism in its cradle. That's what we should have done to ISIS, and we have failed so far.
Too late?
Not too late, but the time is running out.
Well, I think it's getting real late.
7 months. What have we done?